Alright guys, so I just took this giant piece of Backsplash off. That's the old Backsplash back there. I haven't gotten to that spot yet. But I just took this piece off and amazingly it came off in one giant chunk. Also with that one giant chunk came a couple layers of my drywall. So I'm going to do a basic tutorial on plastering or applying plaster to this wall. You can also see, I hope, some of the drywall layers are sticking up, so I'm just going to kind of go through basic of what needs to be done there. Forgive my poor tripod skills because I don't really have an official tripod, but I do want you to get the best angle here. So I was going to try one thing and then that didn't work, so we're going to try something else. Bear with me for a moment, please. Let's see, will that work? No. Awesome. Oh look, haha. Is that a decent angle? That's a beautiful angle. Okay. So, as you can see, there. Well, I've kind of cleaned off most of this. This is like my favorite tool for this project right now. I bought it brand new, and it's gotten quite a fair bit of use already, which is fantastic. It is a drywall scraper, I think is what it's called, but I've also been using it because it's so thin to get in between the backsplash and the wall, and I tap with the hammer and then just go along and blah blah blah. Anyways, so it is a wall scraper. It is, I believe, yeah, hyper tough and stiff. It doesn't have much give to it, but it does have a teensy bit. I'm trying to get a good angle here. Yeah, I'm pushing really hard and it's barely bending, so that's really good. That's what you want. So this guy, and then this little miniature crowbar, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what else you'd call it. Let's see what it says it is. It doesn't. It says it's an ultra bar, but it's very small. It's 7.5 inches, and it's perfect because once I get enough gap between the drywall and the wall with this guy, I can go in with this and put this the slightly curved part in, and then tap down on this with the hammer and just kind of gently go back and forth with it until it kind of pries off the wall. So those are my two favorite tools right now. But I'm going to using my wall scraper, I'm going to go along the drywall where there are these little parts, pieces, spots of loose drywall. I'm just going to try to, I'm pretty flat to the wall, maybe a 20-degree incline there with the wall. I don't want to go too much more than that because then it's going to go like into the wall. We don't want that. We want it pretty level, just getting the snaggly pieces, like that's still pretty stuck on there, so I'm not going to fight that one too much. And you can just kind of go across it with medium to firm pressure. I'm just kind of scraping off any little straggly pieces. You're not going to get it all. So just kind of go in different directions. And whatever doesn't come off, if it's really large, that's a different story. But if it's small, little, insignificant pieces like that fluff stuff, you don't want to grab it and tear. Like, I would not want to grab and tear that piece because it would come off in a giant chunk and I'd have a worse situation than I'm in right now. So I'm just kind of trying to get the main problem pieces off of the wall, and then I'm going to go in with my spackling or my plaster and try to even it out a little bit. So I'm going to pause there for a minute and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the, I call it, spackling or plaster. It's basically, that's what it is, but it's officially called wallboard joint compound, and it's real wet, but it's like toothpaste, I guess, consistency. And so we're gonna put a pretty significant amount on the wall. I'm gonna start out with this spackling tool here. And actually, you know what? I'm going to start off with the smaller one. It's, I think, the one in 1¼ inch, something like that. And I'm just going to take a good chunk of it, a good scoop of it out, and I'm going to just straight on the wall, okay? And I'm going to start pretty small like that. Also, try to make sure you cover up the spackling because it will dry out pretty quickly. You'll notice that when you're applying this stuff on there. So this, you really do want to use a pretty, like, super small angle, maybe like a 5 or 10 degree angle to the wall. You want to be pretty parallel to the wall with this because you want it to be nice and smooth. There are obviously ways to smoothen it out. Smoothen? I just made a new word. To smooth it out later. But right now you just want to make sure you get a good amount of it on the wall, nice and level. And you're going to just keep applying more and more to it until you get it all covered nicely. And some places you'll need more than others. For example, you kind of see where my little tool here, my spackling tool, is not reaching the depths that it needs to, so I just kind of make sure it gets where it needs to go. And you can always add more, and it sands off real easily once you get to the point of when it's dry and making it level. So you don't want to add so much that it puddles or that it pools. It won't. You want to make sure it's thin enough so it'll dry. And it's not cement, it is just a compound. It's a wall compound, or joint compound. So if you get it on your skin, it will come off, don't worry. It probably would be better to actually use gloves, but I'm too cool for gloves. No, I don't know. So I'm just going to keep going over and over and over it until it gets pretty smooth. Again, remember, even if you have like a line like that going through it, like here, you can see different ripples in it. That's okay because we're going to sand it smooth anyways before we lay down our new backsplash. So right now it's literally just laying, kind of like laying the foundation for your backsplash, which I wish the people that laid this one that I'm pulling up had done a better job of it. That way I wouldn't be pulling off so much of my actual drywall. And I wouldn't be having to do this so much, but that's okay. I enjoy it, so it's all good. No hard feelings. So I'm just, yeah, I know you can't really see, but I'm just scooping more and more out, putting it on my spackling knife, covering up my container so it doesn't dry out the mother load. You want to make sure you get it all over so that you have a nice smooth surface to work with when actually putting down your drywall. Not drywall, I'm sorry, your backsplash. And you might use a smaller spackling knife like I was using to add the spackling or the compound to my bigger knife or to the wall. This guy, the little smaller one, in the places that are kind of harder to reach, like the corners where different joints meet, so you make sure you get enough in those spots. You can also use your finger to get it in those spots and then smooth it out with the knife, spackling knife. These are super cheap. We got them at Walmart. I think a 3-pack for $2 or less. You know, they're super cheap. You can get one by itself for less than $1. Having an issue right here. What is that? I think that's part of, I don't know, something. something insignificant that's just causing a hiccup. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to call it good right now. I might come back and do a second layer in a minute. It dries pretty quickly. So, I mean, like within 30 minutes it'll be completely dry where we can sand it off. Not sand it off, but sand it flat. And if we need to do another layer, I'm not really foreseeing that, but if we need to, no problem. It's a really easy but crucial step in laying new backsplash. Sorry, I'm trying to focus and talk at the same time. It's not one of my strong points. Anyways, if you can see, I think you can, over here. Oh, you can't see it. Where's my finger? There we go. Okay, well, over here on the corner, you can see, well, I think you can see there's a divot right here. So I'm going to have to come over that with a little bit more. I really want it to dry first so I can do a second layer, because if I just go in and do more on top of that, I don't know how well it's going to work. We can try it, but I really think it would be better just to wait till the first layer dries, because you really want to make sure it's level. That's the problem I've been having with this project so far, because the people before me, or the builders, or whoever, I don't know who's to blame right now, but things are not plumb, they're not level. So when I'm redoing things, I want it to be as level and plumb as possible if I have the power to do that. And right here I do. So that looks a lot better. I still think I'm going to go through later and apply a second coat right here. I know, I need to just like stop while you're ahead kind of thing is what I'm feeling right now. But then it's like, no, I gotta keep going. So, okay, I'm gonna stop. So it's not finished, but that is the first coat of this area. So I'll come back with a second video on what it looks like when it's dry, and we'll sand it together.